You guys are writing to us and telling us, and I want you to know we hear you, and we're starting to put some different segments in based on what kinds of things you guys write into us. And we had a mom write into us and say, do you ever feature some of the kids that the parents are watching to show people what kinds of things that they're doing? And I said, that's a great idea. How about you be our first guest for this? And because you guys have superstar children, and you guys are superstar parents, and so this is a new segment that we want to feature on a regular basis about kids who are stars, and parents that are stars, and practitioners and teachers that are stars. Because man, you guys are my heroes. I know the kinds of things that you're doing, and you're defying gravity, right? and I love that. You're an inspiration to all of us. So right now via Skype, we have awesome superstar mom, Jill Kravitz. Jill, are you there with us?
I am here. Hi.
Thank you so much for being here. And I have to start with asking permission. Do we have your permission to be videotaping you and showing your image and images?
You have my permission.
Thank you so much. So, Jill, you're a mom, and you wrote into us, and you have a daughter who is on the spectrum, correct?
Correct.
Tell us a little bit about Zoey.
Zoey is the most amazing, beautiful, just most wonderful little girl. In the last year, we had her diagnosed, and we put her in a full-time program where she goes every day from 9 to 4 o'clock. She gets the ABA therapy. She gets speech 4 times a week. She is able to play where it's a private, I like to say it's kind of like a private preschool camp, especially over the summer, because the kids really do have fun. But we were not sure would she ever speak. She now will not stop talking. And it's the best thing. And our first speech therapist that came to the home through the district said, I have no doubt, I know Zoey's going to speak. She used to hum any nursery rhyme that she heard. She could hum it back. It was amazing. That was her way of expressing herself. Now she'll say, and probably her favorite thing to do, one of the favorite things to do, is use the iPad and the iPhone. And I swear she could use it probably better than most people. She knows how to videotape herself. She's only 3 years old, and it's amazing. And she's happy. She this morning was saying, tickle, tickle, tickle. Wants to be tickled, was taping herself. I just can't say enough of how we are so pleased and feel like it's a dream come true and a miracle that everything's happening for her. So
I'm so thrilled that she's doing so well. And you said that she's 3 years old now?
She's 3.5.
3.5.
Yeah. She's
wonderful. But diagnosed at 2 or 2.5?
It was just at 2 years old.
Okay. And is she your only child?
She's our only child, and we're not having any more, and we just want to focus on her. I come from, as well as my husband, 2 siblings, and, I used to say, I want to have a few children, and until you actually do, which we were blessed and lucky enough to have one, we just feel we're going to give all of her our attention.
Yeah.
And
I hear that. Can I tell you, though, I have a boy who is now 9, and we at some point had talked about having more children. And then my son got diagnosed, and we said, no, we're going to give him all our attention. And now we're looking at adopting. So just know, you can get to the point where you reverse on that. Just warning you ahead of time.
Right. Never say never.
Never say never.
I love kids. I do. I love.
But I appreciate that you realize, okay, we got some work ahead of us and we want to focus. I can understand and appreciate that. That's how we felt too. But tell me a little bit about what kinds of things did you see in Zoey that led you to take you to get her diagnosed?
Okay, that's a good question. It was pointed out by some other people, and we just noticed as well when she was with other kids, she would not sit still. I took her to those early childhood classes, and just her ability to, sit, and of course kids do run around, but it was very extreme. She just, and not looking at us when I would call her name, wasn't even responding, nothing. And then we went to the pediatrician, and they had us do a checklist. And everything was really, is your child looking at you? No. Everything that we responded to was no. And the pediatrician said, well, this doesn't mean, but it may mean that, this is a sign of autism. My sister-in-law also, I'm not going to mention the name, but my nephew as well has, and he's mainstream now, but he's autistic as well. He went, so that's how I learned how to, once the district felt also, the psychologist said, we believe that she is autistic. And then I went through the University of Minnesota, and then they helped us. But
interesting then. So you were familiar already with autism and already had an idea that there was some things that could be done that could be beneficial if he's now mainstream.
A little bit, not to the extent that obviously now that I'm a mother of a child and things, I even, want to maybe do something as a career for kids with autism, because I did have a teaching background before this.
Awesome.
But yeah, I really didn't have any idea, just a little bit from, certain things of my nephew and, but not as I went through it. So yeah, it was.
Well, Jill, I gotta say, we've got a show coming up in the near future where we're going to be talking about how desperately BCBAs are needed around the world, and that if you're looking for a career and you already were a teacher and you love children, that BCBA, you want to talk about job security. Unfortunately, with the numbers as high as they are, it's so many BCBAs are needed right now, and with insurance reform happening, they don't have enough, and so they're looking for, if you're looking for some job security, being a BCBA is a possibility.
What does that stand for, BCBA?
It stands for Board Certified Behavior Analyst. There are programs all over. I'm aware of a couple close to you as well, where you can get the basic, and then there's a 1-year certification to take your test, to do your boards, and it's a great career, I will tell you, and that job security, which cannot be understated in this economy.
Right.
So we'll have to talk. We'll have to tell you when that show is coming up. But I want to get back to your relationship with Zoey, and I'm sure that along the way there have been some times when it's been hard. How have you gotten through the hard times to be able to get the level of help that you're getting her and to be able to hold it together?
Oh, also a very good question. And I think what, keeps me going, honestly, because we have, my husband as well, we have so much love for her that we realize it's going to be extremely stressful. And there's times, for example, we recently had a psychologist, and I'm more involved. My husband is, but because he is working, and he's there when he can, but and I'm much more able to, go and do things and research and find out. The psychologist at the place where she goes to school, where they do the testing, I had met with one of the psychologists. She has come to the home, worked with me on life skills, in addition to me going once a week to her school to observe. But if anyone could get this, any parent, I think, could use this anyway. But we were having, she was fighting, not like every moment, but there was issues we had with that to deal with. She's been pulling her hair out. She started kind of doing that again. Major fits, like where you take something away and she couldn't handle it, fell apart. And they were working at school on that too. So thank God that's what helped me as well, a great team where she's going to school. So I think, you have to have that connection, and
absolutely.
That's why I go as much as I can. I'm very involved, and I'm her biggest advocate, so have to be.
Well, that is. And we're looking at some pictures of her and of you, and she's absolutely beautiful.
Thank you.
Such a beautiful young girl, and I love what you're saying, Jill, because it brings home to those people who are watching that you started by saying you've had so much progress, and your daughter is talking, and that how wonderful that is, but it doesn't mean that you're done. And it doesn't mean that she's done and she's making progress, and that doesn't mean, we'll see a diminishment in duration of tantrums and how often they happen, but it doesn't mean they go away, because our kids are still kids and kids still tantrum. And there's that thing that we talk about on this all the time on the show about you take 2 steps forward and every once in a while you take 1 step back.
Exactly.
But I hope that you know, and that our viewers know, that even when you take that step back, you never go back to square one, and you just keep on moving forward, and you'll always get further. But it's not easy. It's
every day is a challenge, and it's rewarding, but it has, like, you don't know what to expect, but it's the skills learning, and that's why I know how important it is. That helps me, and to help my husband, and help Zoey. All this, we have to be there for her. So
yeah, and to have that support of the people at school, so wonderful. And even what you described with your husband, it's very common. We have a friend who likes to say that for autism there has to be a project manager, and a lot of times it's the wife. Yeah, I was the project manager too. And your husband comes home and he's exhausted from work, and you're like, all right, I got to bring you up to speed. And they do their level best, whoever is not the project manager, but and it's hard, I think, on both sides, but I have nothing but respect for what you're doing, and you're showing up for your child, you're getting it done. It's a long haul, it's a marathon. Are you taking care of yourself?
I am taking very good care of myself. I go to the gym when I can. Luckily, I'm able to do that. I mean, even the summertime is so nice, and, can't go to a gym. I would say to anyone, even just take a walk and just appreciate, the sunshine, and you'll feel better. But, it's easy also just, and there's been days, in addition to finding out that Zoey was autistic, my mom had passed away, which was a year, February, and it was like my head was spinning, and I didn't know which way to turn, and my mother was my best friend, so that was very hard. Every day is really hard. Thank God she was able to be there when I gave birth to Zoey. She was there, and she was so in love with her, and, is what it is now. But, that's the most important thing. Take care of yourself.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's days I just want to crawl up in under my covers, and I'm sure you understand that too. But, I got to be strong for myself and for my daughter and husband. So.
Absolutely. And, we all have those days. We're entitled to them. Those days when you're on the kitchen floor, man, and it's tough getting up.
Another thing, if I could just add,
sure.
that I started to do, because I always have, my vision board and dreams, and I would say this to anyone who has life experiences. I've started to put together something, because I would like to put a book out or something to help other parents, like the experiences that I'm going through. So I've kind of been, putting some things together, and maybe it'll happen. But I think, just to put your thoughts and put a diary or whatever it is, that's also therapeutic and is helpful.
I agree. I think that that's wonderful, and keep us posted when you have it together. We just featured last month the fabulous Sean Colton, an autism dad, and he wanted to write a children's book. And what he did was he put it on Kickstarter and said, here's what I want to do, and I'm going to need $5,000 to do it. And you might want to check out his page on Kickstarter, but he raised more than $6,000 so that he is writing the book right now and getting it done.
Wow, thank you. Okay.
So check that out. I mean, there's all kinds of, and when you put it out there and say, I want to take my experience and help somebody else, it's just amazing what that can lead to. And I think a lot of us, it is a measure of how well your child is doing when you start to think, okay, how can I help other people? And we had Nancy Alspaugh Jackson on the show yesterday, and she does an entire speech about parents and how it redefines you, and sometimes you find a new career, sometimes you find a new passion, and that was certainly the case for her. It was certainly the case for me. If somebody had told me 7 years ago I'd be sitting here hosting a show about autism, I would have assured them that they were nuts.
Wow.
But I'm having a ball.
Yeah, you never know.
You never know. You never know. But keep us posted about that, because as you start to get the book done, we'd like to hear more about it.
Thank you. I will. Now it'll give me more ambition.
There you go. Because people could use being able to hear about your story. We all need that sometimes. But I applaud you, because you're getting it done, and I wish you nothing but the best. Please give all of our love to Zoey. Give her a big hug from us here at Autism Live.
I will. Thank you.
And thank you for this great idea that we're now going to have as a regular feature.
Because it's only going to help other parents that need that. Because it's like, you don't know, and I'm still learning, as we all are, but if you don't know where to go, get that insight. So
Absolutely.
That's really great.
So important to hear other people's experiences along the way. So congratulations for how well she's doing. We look forward to even more progress as she has over the years.
I will.
All right. Have a lovely day. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye, Jill.
Take care. Bye-bye.
So that was the wonderful Jill Kravitz. She wrote in, had a great idea, and said, do you ever feature children? My child's doing so well. You know, it took some work, but we're getting it done. And I think it's a great idea. So this is, she's our superstar. I can't even talk anymore. Our superstar kid, Zoey, and you can see this lovely picture of her there. What a wonderful, wonderful story that this family has.